So the question seems to be, why do we choose mineral wool or rock wool over other types of insulation? Now, Rockwool is a brand name. Rockwool makes a mineral wool insulation. How we got to the decision of using mineral wool, it was basically a best bang for your buck kind of thing. We would have loved to put spray foam insulation in our house. Spray foam insulation, closed cell spray foam insulation to be particular on it, is by far the best insulation you can put in a house or a structure of any kind. It's got the best R value per square or per inch of thickness. It seals your house. There's no drafts. You don't have to worry about drilling holes in your blocking to vent your attic space or your rafters. You just fill it full of foam and it's done, and you have a huge R value. The unfortunate part, spray foam insulation is very expensive. We got a quote for the house we're building, which is, keep in mind, 24 foot by 48 foot footprint. And above us is just rafters. There's no walls on the second floor. It's more like a half floor, if you will. For this house, it was 15 grand from one company to come out and fill the cavities full of spray foam, closed cell spray foam. Called a couple different companies that were a little bit further away. They said without coming and seeing, the quote that we got sounded pretty close. So the spray foam insulation got marked off the list. Just too expensive. It's a really good insulation, has a really good benefits for your house. We just don't have the type of money. Now we've boiled it down to standard fiberglass insulation and mineral wool insulation. The mineral wool is mold and mildew resistant. It's fire resistant up to 1800 degrees because of the way it's made. And it's a lot denser than the standard fiberglass insulation. The denser it is, the better soundproofing it is. Now say you live in a city, you got a lot of road noise, you live next to train tracks, you got a train horn going off in the middle of the night. This mineral wool insulation is going to keep that sound out of your house better than a standard fiberglass bat will. Now say you have a leak somewhere and your insulation gets wet. If you have mineral wool insulation in your walls or your ceiling and it gets wet, you take the sheathing off, you expose the mineral wool to the air, let it dry out, put new sheathing up and you're done. Fiberglass, you've got to rip all that fiberglass insulation out. Once it gets wet, it kind of compacts and turns to mush. Doesn't really insulate at all anymore. How mineral wool is made. It's made from basalt and slag. Slag is a byproduct from making steel. Any steel beam that they make has a byproduct that it's called slag that comes off of it. They take this waste, slag, mix it with basalt, superheat it, and put it behind a fan, and it blows it into these bats that you're going to put in your walls. Now the best we could figure for mineral wool insulation, it was about 80 cents a square foot. Fiberglass insulation was about 60 cents a square foot. For the added benefits of mineral wool, it's not that much more expensive. So that's how we came up with the idea to use mineral wool insulation. The added benefits for a little bit more money, it wasn't the most expensive insulation, but it wasn't the cheapest, and it came with, like we've gone over, a lot of added benefits. So for those of you that are subscribers to our channel and you're waiting for an update, I'll take you upstairs and show you a little update on what I've gotten done. It's been a pretty busy last 3, 4, 5 days, however long. I think it's been 5 days since I put a video out. Shame on me. But I have been burning a big burn pile. Was a big burn pile out in the side of our yard. It was about 30 feet by 20 feet, huge logs, everything, had it all tarped up over the middle. Got it uncovered after the snow fell, started it, lit it up and let it burn. Unfortunately, it took basically 2 days to burn down to the size where I didn't have to keep moving it around and throwing stuff on top to keep it burning. I didn't want it to go out once I got it lit. So it took a little bit of time, but I have gotten more done in the house. So I'll take you upstairs and show you what I got done. Get you a little look in the bathroom here. I did get the sheetrock done. It is kind of dark in here. We don't have lights, and it's got a pretty good echo to it now. All the sheetrock's done in there. All the sheetrock's done in here. Hopefully you can see all that. This room's basically done all the way around. Little closet over here. We still have to finish up this wall over here. The ceiling is done all the way throughout, but I haven't got all the walls done yet. One thing we did not anticipate, we did not think about when we were designing the house was all the custom cuts. Everything is custom cut. There's hardly any piece of sheathing in here that's just a 4x8 piece of sheathing. Some of the roof stuff was pretty easy. I just have to trim it to a length. But then when you're going around a closet or going around a wall, you got to kind of have special cuts, custom cuts all over the place. When it comes to covering the walls, I don't think there's a sheet I've put up yet that's just been a 4x8 sheet. It's all been custom cut somehow, somewhere or another, which just takes a buttload of time. And me and custom cuts, I'm hoping it's not too butchered out. I do have some pretty decent gaps. I mean, you're supposed to have a gap that big in your sheetrock? Just fill it with putty, I guess. I don't know. I've never done sheetrock before, so this is definitely a learning curve. Don't laugh at my sheetrock ability. Most of it's turning out all right though. It's turning out pretty good. So I'll get my daughter's room done down there, and then I'll come down here and finish up my son's room, get all these walls put up, get it all done. I am looking forward to getting downstairs where everything should be square, hopefully. Cross my fingers. Just have to trim it straight up and down and put pieces in. Hoping that that goes a little bit faster and a little bit easier, because man, I've been struggling with this stuff, guys. I am not a sheetrock guy for sure. But we'll get through it. We'll get it done. Until next time, go make something.